Hi, this is Trey Passer. As promised in my vlog, I watched another movie, a Criterion that I bought last week. And I'm talking about 1948's They Live by Night. This is sort of the first film by Nicholas Ray, famous director. And this movie stars not Harley, what is Harley? Farley Granger as Bowie and Catherine O'Donnell as Kichi. And you got Harriet Da Silva in this. And this story is basically the story of three prisoners in the 1940s. They escaped from a prison farm in Mississippi, and they actually go to one of their relatives to sort of hide out. And among them, of course, is Farley Granger's character. He plays Bowie, a young convict who spent the last 7 years in prison, and he escaped with these two veteran, older convicts in hopes that when he gets out, he can go and get enough money so he can hire a lawyer and prove his innocence because he's been in prison for a murder. Okay, and he wants to either gather the money up and pay a lawyer to defend him and be free of the charges. Of course, the older two convicts, they have no interest in that. They just are strictly in this to get out, make enough money to get a score, and move on. Okay, but into his life, when they go to one of the relatives of the older convicts, he meets a young girl named Kichi, played by Catherine O'Donnell, and of course, they instantly form a connection to each other. But again, like I said, he has to, they stake out a bank and he wants to get the money, get enough money up so he can actually go. And he carries around an article of a lawyer that run a case for a convict that was wrongly convicted. So that's his plan to do that. But of course, Kichi is telling him that this is no good and you're never going to prove your innocence if you're going to keep committing crime. Okay, and basically after one heist, he gets hurt, and Kichi kind of nurses him back to health, and the bank robbers split up and go their separate ways. But Bowie hangs around with Kichi, and you can tell that they have this sort of connection because Kichi is sort of like she takes care of her alcoholic father, and she doesn't really, and she works in the gas station. She really doesn't, never had a boyfriend, and they kind of form a connection to each other, and they decide to go off with each other and escape this life and try to start over again. Okay, but of course, this being a movie, but you can pretty much like his old companions basically have to they rise up again to try to drag him back into the life. And this movie is absolutely beautiful. It's black and white, and you have a young Farley Granger in this. Him and Catherine O'Donnell have great chemistry together as these young lovers that are basically trying to get ahead and get away from all the crime, and you can tell that they have this connection to each other even from the beginning, uh, where they stare at each other and they have this good kind of chemistry among each other. And of course, they get dragged into their no good relatives. They drag them back into life even though they're trying to get out of it. And this movie it's a beautiful love story of a couple that's trying to get ahead, and you can tell they're trying to have the hope and wanting to have better things. And you can see them. They're basically on the road trying to escape, and they marvel at things that they've never experienced before because they're young, okay, and they dream of having a life and being off somewhere and just being free of all of it. But of course, that's not going to happen in this world because, again, he committed crimes, and the law has to catch up to him eventually. And it's a beautiful movie. And again, it works because Farley Granger and Catherine O'Donnell have great chemistry, and you're hoping and you're rooting for them to get away and have that life that they dream of, and have a family and just be free and just be happy. Okay, and they really portray that very well in this movie. Great direction by Nicholas Ray, and it's just a great movie, a great tale of outcasts just trying to get ahead and trying to get out from under all these things that drag people down, and you're rooting for them because they're in love and they want they want to be free of all of it. But of course, this is being a movie. Things may not work out or not, may or may not work out. Anyway, They Live by Night. I really enjoyed this movie, and I highly recommend it. Again, I'm going to give this movie an 8 out of 10. It's just a really great tale, and you'll really enjoy it a lot. And I definitely highly recommend it. Okay, the picture quality is great for a Criterion. For this movie, came out in 1948. Great quality. Okay, great writing, great acting. I think, again, the chemistry what sells this between Catherine O'Donnell and Farley Granger. Again, you find yourself rooting for them as a couple. Okay, and again, 8 out of 10 for me, and I highly recommend it. They Live by Night. Anyway, let me know what you think of They Live by Night. What do you think of it? If you've seen it, let me tell you what you think of it. Feel free to leave comments down below, and if you like this review, please hit the subscribe button down below. I have links to my Facebook, my Twitter, and my Instagram in the description box, as well as my other channel, Paul's Views and Opinions. Please check that out as well. And this is Trey Pastor saying so long and take care.